I'm a powerful CEO. My childhood sweetheart, who is my fiancée, is a wicked female antagonist. She has become so dim-witted that every time she tries to do something bad, it turns out a disaster. She keeps facing backlash over and over. Hold on, something's happening downstairs. He pushed the heroine into the pool. I won't say more. I need to rush to clean up the mess. The garden was supposed to be having a party, but now everyone is gathered by the pool. I had a good guess about the storyline before I came in, but I only got the beginning right. The female lead, Gu Qingkan, was really standing by the water all drenched. But it was my childhood sweetheart, Bai Ningbing, who was crying sadly. She was in the custom-made light pink long dress I gave her yesterday. Totally soaked. She pointed at Gu Qingkan, her hair completely soaked. I couldn't tell if it was tears or water from the pool. I honestly didn't mean to push you. It was this song that was misbehaving. He was like someone under a curse. He's the one who wants to push you, not me. Do you really believe me or not? By the end of my Russian speech, I was almost crying. I can't even deal with this. The way she's crying and begging for people to believe her is just too much. You think he looks pretty fierce, don't you? But at the same time, he's kind of pitiful. You think she's pitiful, don't you? She acts like a little beast, showing her teeth and claws. No one believes her, not even her fake friends. They're just there to back her up. Why should our Miss Bai trouble a mere servant? Who do you think you are? Blocking Ningbing's way. You should apologize to her right now. Do you have any idea how much that dress Ningbing is wearing costs? You wouldn't be able to cover her costs, even if you sold yourself. They're all just superficial knights in shining armor. Those are just dumb words that stir up hatred behind the scenes. Just a bunch of useless sycophants who can't get anything done. The militia knows that nobody trusts them. He stands there all by himself in the crowd. It was a mixture of fierce appearance and hidden cowardice, radiating panic. I casually picked up a large, clean bath towel. I stepped forward to wrap her soaking wet body. I handed it over to the female housekeeper. Then, I approached Gu Qinggan. I apologize. Miss Gi, I never anticipated that such an accident would occur. You should change your clothes. First, I will come specifically to apologize to you later. As a powerful CEO, the only way I know how to say sorry is by throwing money. But Gu Qingkan looked down on me. Does Mr. Fang really believe that everything can be solved with money? I may be poor, but I have my dignity. I don't want money. I want Miss Bai to personally apologize to me. This firm response is just what you'd expect from the female lead. I shyly pulled back the check. Ben Ningbing came down. She put on a little black dress. Her soft waves cascaded over her shoulders. He noticed Gu Qinggan's clothes were soaked. He stammered and asked why he hadn't changed yet. I want to know why I specifically asked the housekeeper to bring dry clothes. But Gu Qinggan proudly refused. He insisted on waiting for Ningbing to apologize. Otherwise, he wouldn't change outfits. Ningbing's little face flushed with guilt. He opened his mouth and agreed. To you, money is all that matters, isn't it? Brother Fang Yuan gives you money. Why don't you accept it? She turned to me with a look of terror on her face. But she just wouldn't stop talking. What are you acting all high and mighty about? Someone like you, a poor person, can't even earn enough for one of my skirts in a month. Or do you think the money's too little and want to milk it for more? I sighed and rubbed my temples again. I can say with absolute certainty, this is definitely not something someone like Bai Bing, who I've known since childhood, would say. As a little princess who has been pampered since she was young, she has absolutely no idea what money is. There is no way she knows how much Gu Qingkan makes in a month. The crucial point here is that he not only keeps chatting non-stop, he even grabbed a glass of water. I have no idea how that glass of water showed up. It was clear that the table was empty just a second ago. From my experience, the next thing she would do is splash the water in the female lead's face. Gu Qingkan angrily stepped forward. That step was almost like dragging his face towards the host. There was no time to waste. In a flash, I snatched the glass from Ningbing. I gulped it down in one go, leaving Ningbing stunned. He halted his hand in the air. He was still unconsciously splashing around. Gu Qingkan turned to glance at me as well. Hey, as autumn arrives. I am feeling so dry. They both stared at me for a while. In sync, they turned away, ignoring me completely. Gu Qingkan proudly wrung the water from his clothes and held his head high. Miss Bai, it's okay if you don't apologize to me today. In time, I will surely have my day of reckoning. She made her way to the door in her soaking wet clothes. Out of the blue, she flipped over and grabbed the dry clothes prepared by the butler. Then, she walked away proudly with her head held high. The militia gazed at her back. Feeling all mixed up, I really want to apologize. Brother Fang Yuan, I genuinely want to say, I am sorry. I really have no idea what happened. I just can't help what comes out of my mouth. I had to gently hold her and whisper comforting words. Ning Bing didn't cry for very long. Suddenly, she lifted her head from my embrace. My eyes are filled with hearts from Bilibili. You think he looks so cool when he confidently walks out. I am experiencing a deity-level intelligence, debuff. Even one's sexual orientation can be influenced. How do I even tell her? Gu Qingkan's threats are no joke. Her ending will be incredibly tragic. Her family will be ruined, and she will die at someone else's hands. Gu Qingkan has been popping up in my life more often. He's even acting as a temporary waiter in my garden. She is still doing her internship at my company. The moment I stepped out of the elevator, I saw him waiting outside my office. Assistant Xiao, he politely requested him to leave. However, he stubbornly insisted on seeing me and even asked for my clothes, which made Xiao he feel helpless. I can help you forward it. But Gu Qingkan didn't agree. He doesn't feel comfortable with others handling it. Xiao he quickly rushed over to me. Gu Qingkan also came along. Mr. Fang, thank you for the clothes. I gestured for Xiao He to take the clothes and gave him a nod. I headed to the office. Gu Qingkan caught up with Mr. Fang. I heard your former secretary has left. I would like to throw my hat in the ring. I paused and turned to face her. Her hair was pulled back into a high ponytail. She wore a neat white shirt and black pants. She looked serious and resolute. Please take a look at my resume. That is when I realized he still had a file bag in his hand. See, I didn't even reach out. He bit his lip and lowered his head a bit. I beg you, please give me a chance, Mr. Fang. I am different from Miss Bai. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. My family is poor. My mother has uremia and requires dialysis regularly. I desperately need this job. It feels humiliating to lower my head and beg. As he lifted his head, his eyes are filled with tears. He's trying hard to hold back. I know he's telling the truth. I also know that his mother is my savior. When I was a child, I was kidnapped by thugs. His mother happened to pass by and secretly called the police with information. That's how I was rescued, just in time. His mother didn't have a cell phone. She used an old payphone on the street, so my parents ultimately never found her. After I woke up, I secretly donated a huge sum to him, but he rejected it because the source was unknown. I am actually looking for ways to help her mother find a kidney donor. However, I can't share these matters with her. The system warns me that revealing the plot will lead to uncontrollable disasters. I can only tell him that the company has a policy in place. If employees are facing family difficulties, they can request an advance on their salary. Given your family's special situation, I can inform the finance department to allow you to request a larger advance. Gu Qingkan shook his head in response. This is merely a drop in the bucket and not a sustainable solution. Mr. Fang, I ask you to at least take a look at my resume. I am not begging you to just hire me outright. Just give me at least one opportunity. If the freezing debuff is an intelligence drop, then the female lead's buff is definitely stubborn. I finally relented and let Xiao He take over her resume. Gu Qingkan is truly exceptional. Her qualifications and skills are top-notch. Even Xiao He has recommended her to me. I believe Miss Gu should be able to handle the secretary job, but the issue has never been with Gu Qingkan herself. I took a moment to go to the rooftop to call the militia. His voice sounds hollow. He must be in the recording studio. He enjoys composing music and writing his own songs. He sings them to himself, but the songs he's been writing lately are quite silly. I suspect that one day he will have an epiphany. He'll probably be driven crazy by these silly songs he wrote. I updated him on Gu Qinggan's situation over the phone. Oh my god, she's so pitiful. I have the money for her mother's medical treatment. There is really no need for me to help him out with such a big deal. I'm being realistic. Miss Gu wouldn't want that. I can almost picture it. I can almost picture Gu Qinggan's humiliation as he tossed the money back at her. Ning Bing sighed with worry. Sigh. I truly want to say sorry to her, but I just can't talk normally around him. You mentioned he wants to be your secretary. That is great. Make sure to give him a good salary. I gazed up at the clouds, feeling a sense of melancholy with the sound of rain. Ning Bing. Have you ever worried that someday someone might steal me away? She was laughing joyfully. On the other end of the line. Then I'll definitely get 100 firecrackers to celebrate your wedding. And congrats to me for finally getting rid of you, this nagging pest. She just doesn't believe I could be transformed or kidnapped. That year, I had just turned 7. Because of the trauma, I couldn't go to school. I took a year off from school. Back then, even the slightest noise could make me hide under the bed in fear, huddled with my head in my hands. I would freeze in shock whenever an adult came close, no matter who you are. It was the nanny my family hired that lured me away. He took me out himself. I was given to those intimidating men. I found myself trapped in the back of a small truck. They stuffed burlap in my mouth. If I made even the slightest noise, they would beat me up. When I was finally rescued, the young me had one of my ribs broken. They broke my nose. My body is covered in bruises. I hesitate to make a sound even when I am home. I feel safe only when I am with my parents. One day, my mom brought home an aunt and a little girl. I hid on the second floor, secretly watching them from the railing. The little girl ran up the stairs and came over to me. She revealed the hand that she had hidden behind her back. In her palm, she held a crystal clear round jade pendant shaped like a gourd. This was a gift from my grandmother. She has gone to a place far away. It'll be a long, long time before I see her again. She said this little gourd can keep me safe. I will never meet any bad people. I've never met a bad person. But Mom said, you encountered someone really bad. I'll lend you this little gourd to keep you safe from bad people in the future. Bending down with great seriousness to hang the little gourd around my neck. She is dressed in a charming white princess tullo gown. She has a head full of naturally curly hair. Her petite face is as exquisite as a little princess from a Western painting. She reaches out her little finger. When you grow up, you must return the little gourd to me. Let's make a pinky swear. A little dog that doesn't keep its promises. She looks both serious and adorable while making the pinky promise. Her smile shines like a bright little sun. I foolishly reach out my hand. Her tiny pinky was wrapped around my finger. I later learned that her name is Bai Ning. The psychologist recommended that I spend more time with children my age. Ideally, I should be around cheerful and lively little girls. Ning Bing is the most adorable and charming little girl in my mom's social circle. She is just a year younger than me. At first, her parents didn't want to. She was raised as a little princess, doted on by her family since she was a child. I didn't need to be an emotional support for someone else's child. But when my mom went to plead with them, Ning Bing heard it. He offered to take care of me. This poor little guy. Later, I ended up in the same class as Ning Bing. We went from elementary school to high school and then studied abroad together. Beneath the starry sky in a foreign land, supporting each other, we confessed and shared our first kiss in the chilly air of Kilimanjaro, holding hands at a party abroad, not taking part in any sharing activities. Consequently, they were ridiculed by foreigners for being old-fashioned and conservative. Upon returning home, our families threw a lavish engagement ceremony for us. As I slipped the engagement ring onto his finger, I whispered my heartfelt confession in his ear. You are the light and warmth of my life. You are my lifelong desire and the love of my heart. I love you, Ning Bing. So how could Ning Bing ever believe that? Someday, I will betray him and come to loathe him. I will watch as he and his family fall apart and meet a tragic end. Back then, my heart and mind were solely occupied by Gu Qinggan. I would love the female lead passionately, almost to the point of madness. I can't pinpoint when it began. A small table appeared on the rooftop of the company. It had a simple plastic tablecloth on it. They even placed a slender-necked vase on it. None of the items were costly. You could tell at a glance they were cheap trinkets from a roadside shop. Fresh flowers were added to the vase daily. Roses, gardenias, poppies, baby's breath, and even white chrysanthemums. The flowers look a bit wilted. They seem like they were scavenged from a dump. I wonder who has such sophisticated taste, who knew I would share this secret garden across time and space. One morning, I had a brief meeting with some shareholders. Midway through, I decided to take a breather and went up to the rooftop. Gu Qinggan was sitting at the table's edge. One hand held a cup of coffee, the other a computer. He was busy, working late. It turns out that he set up that little table. This moment wasn't part of the original storyline. He also smiled at me after noticing my surprise. Mr. Fang enjoys coming here by himself, as well. He gazed up at the sky and let out a soft breath of white mist. This place is great. Just look up, and you can see the sky. You can momentarily pretend to escape the pull of gravity. I nodded slightly and decided to leave. I sighed inwardly, thinking I probably won't be able to visit this rooftop again. Gu Qinggan's phone went off. By the time he hung up, I was already at the stairs. He rushed over to me, his expression full of anxiety. Mr. Fang. My mother passed out. A bystander helped to call an ambulance. Is it possible for me to take the afternoon off? I kept a straight face. My brain was racing. In line with the original storyline, I should have offered to take her to the hospital. But that requires his strength and optimism. He had already unwittingly caught my interest. To put it another way, I've got a crush on him. I swear to the heavens. I haven't had a single crooked thought. Ever since he became my secretary, I've always been cautious with my words. I've also been careful in my actions, and I've kept a professional attitude, just to prevent any ambiguity from arising. When he requests leave, I should just approve it. But now, I know that his mother is my lifesaver. A benefactor is in distress, facing a critical situation, yet I chose to avoid any suspicion. Is it really appropriate to just close my eyes and pretend to be deaf and mute? I am struggling immensely, screaming and going in circles inside my mind. Damn, being a dominant female character is just too tough. I can't let down the one who saved my father. It is always difficult to balance loyalty and love. In the end, I chose to go with her to the hospital. The ambulance kept wailing all the way, speeding into the hospital's emergency lane like the wind. The car door swung open, and the stretcher was brought down. His mother was lying on the stretcher, with a breathing apparatus on. Her skin appeared grayish-white, and she was unconscious. The doctor in the car was urgently explaining the situation, as time was running out. Cardiac arrest. They just injected epinephrine. They used the defibrillator, and finally managed to bring her back. She hasn't woken up yet, and there is a risk of another cardiac arrest. She handed a pile of medical records to the doctor on duty. The medical records indicated that the patient had stage 5 chronic kidney disease. It might be renal failure that triggered the malignant arrhythmia. Fortunately, the patient's family had made a small cloth pouch. He should carry his medical record with him. This way, family members can be contacted promptly. The female protagonist is truly a strong and smart girl. She grips her mother's hand tightly, running alongside the hospital bed. The doctor requests an immediate transfer to nephrology for dialysis. Gu Qingkan is in a panic and nodding frantically. I held her back and turned to ask the doctor. The doctor said that due to the patient's condition, dialysis should be performed in the ICU. Isn't that safer? The doctor glanced at me. It was likely due to their curiosity about who I was. Naturally, the patient's condition is complex. The internal environment is chaotic. If there is another cardiac arrest, the kidneys might not be able to cope in time. The ICU has additional emergency measures. The doctor hesitated. However, ICU costs are significantly higher. Gu Qingkan's mother was dressed in a sanitation worker's uniform. Gu Qingkan has a very simple style. He is wearing a white shirt and dress pants. It looked like it cost under 300 yuan. If we follow the original plot, I would get her a full set of custom-tailored professional outfits. This would even include the gown for the cocktail party. And this gown was the one that Ningbing had her eye on first. They unexpectedly bumped into each other at the cocktail party. Ningbing, feeling humiliated and furious, splashed wine on him. She demanded that he take it off in public. That is when I would make a dazzling entrance. I wrapped my arms around Gu Qinggan and scolded Ningbing angrily. But right now, I completely refrained from interfering with Gu Qinggan's outfit. So the doctor provided suggestions, according to their medical advice. They compassionately offered advice that fit their financial situation. I decided to head to the ICU. Cost is not an issue. Gu Qingkan hesitated for a moment, but then nodded in agreement. I waited outside the ICU room. Gu Xinhan's was gone for a while. The next time he showed up, he brought me a cup of coffee. I just went downstairs to pay the fees in advance. Thank you, Mr. Fang. It is nothing, just a small effort. I try to change the topic subtly. You don't need to worry about work-related issues. I'll ask Xiao He to help you. If you urgently need money, you can request an advance from the finance department. You could also borrow from Xiao He. Gu Qingkan's gaze briefly flickered as the ICU door opened. He gave me a faint smile. Mr. Fang, this is the Kai Fa Ke from Kang Xiaohe. All I could think about was how to clear my name, yet I hadn't realized how odd this sentence sounded. We hadn't been talking for very long. The ICU doctors finally came out looking exhausted. They informed us that there were several critical situations during dialysis that required emergency resuscitation. Thankfully, we opted for the ICU. If we had remained in the nephrology department, they probably wouldn't have survived. Goyu's mother is awake now. The condition is stable for now, so you can go in to visit her. Gu Qingkan was overwhelmed with joy and rushed in, tears streaming down her face. I was just about to quietly slip away. The doctor called out to stop me. You are the patient's son-in-law, aren't you? Come here. I need to talk to you about something important. First, I felt a stir in my heart, and without thinking, followed him to the office. The patient is now in a critical condition. This may lead to multiple complications. If the financial situation permits, it's best to consider getting the transplant surgery. Ningbing is also aware of Gu Qinggan's family situation. I had planned to hide it from her, But after I stood her up for the third time, the young lady blew up. I had to spill the beans. She was too scared to come herself. She was worried that seeing Gu Chingon would make her feel unwell. She just reminded me over the phone. If she is short on cash, she can chip in. I'll make sure Mrs. Gayu gets the care she needs. I was also asked to lend the little gourd jade pendant to Mrs. Gayu. May her grandmother also bless this innocent aunt. I just couldn't bring myself to wear the little gourd around my neck. Its warm, gentle touch keeps reminding me. Ning Bing is a real person. She's definitely not that vague, malicious woman from the story. I'm afraid I might get caught up in the story. I'm worried that I might lose myself in the plot. I am worried I might forget about my Ning Bing. It is that adorable and kind girl. But Ning Bing can be really foolish sometimes. He has never suspected me at all. Why go to such lengths? Getting deeply involved in the life of an ordinary employee. I've been visiting my aunt's house every day lately. It is mainly to do some persuasion work. No matter how much I plead and argue, even Gu Chingon has agreed. For the time being, I'll cover the costs of the kidney transplant surgery with my own money. But my parents would never agree to it, even if it meant their lives. Our ironclad principles do not come from our family's money. I won't touch a single cent. That is just my stubborn temper. For my whole life, your father and I divorced over this matter. I have no regrets about it. Even if I were to die now, I would never compromise my principles. I've heard that my parents originally worked in state-owned companies. They were pushed out for being too proud. She quit in a fit of rage. To my surprise, she has aged. Her temperament has only grown more stubborn with age. It is no surprise that in the original story, when the female lead misunderstands the male lead, she stubbornly refuses to hear any explanations. She dragged it out for 100 chapters, chasing and dodging. What is this? This is what we call legacy. Here I am again today. With a fruit basket in hand, I walked to the community entrance. I spotted Gu Chingon sitting on a bench with his mother. They're talking with their backs turned to me. Gu Chingon is trying to convince his mother to undergo surgery. I settled in and wanted to listen to how Goi's mother talks to her daughter. Ahan, just tell me the truth. Is your boss trying to win you over? Otherwise, why is he so invested in our family's matters? Gu Chingon paused for a moment and softly said, Mom, don't say silly things. President Fang has a fiancée. Gaiu's mother looked a little disappointed. Then, I just don't get it. Why is he treating you so well? That is just Mr. Fang being a good guy. He understands his employees and doesn't think much of Jiu Mu. I've also been in a big company before. What haven't I come across? She treats every employee so considerately. I can't believe that. He hesitated for a moment, and then suddenly asked, is he trying to get you to be his mistress? I was taken aback. It wasn't because of what Jiu Mu said, but because someone suddenly popped their head up from the flowers, creeping around like a Western-style hero, sporting an eye mask that covers the upper half of his face. That petite face with a slight wave in the hair. If it weren't for Ning Bing, I write my characters backwards. He thinks that simply putting on an eye mask would stop him from acting foolishly in front of the female lead. Can it be any more absurd? I just want to hide my face behind a fruit basket, acting like I don't know him. I was just thinking of going up to hold on to Ning Bing. He has already jumped out of the garden. What are you babbling on about? Brother Fang Yuan would never be interested in this poor girl. What a strange and ugly girl. If it weren't for you all thinking he is rich and clinging to him, he wouldn't even care to glance at you, trying to be Brother Fang's mistress. Do you even have the means to think you can? Poverty breeds malice. You are still trying to act all high and mighty, just to trick the dog. Gu Chingon got up, her face flushed bright red. Miss Bai, are you going to keep quiet or not? Ning Bing lifted her little face, looking quite smug. I'm not going to be quiet. What are you going to do about it? Your nasty foot is oozing pus. Your mom is just as nasty. I threw the fruit basket to the side. I was just about to charge in. A sharp crack echoed. Ning Bing covered her face with her hands. She stared at Gu Chingon in disbelief. You hit me. You actually dared to hit me. This storyline seems so familiar. Next, Ning Bing should be leaping towards me. Brother Fang Yuan. This wicked woman hit me. You must take revenge for me. I quickly caught her. I still haven't had the chance to comfort her. She is struggling desperately to get out of my arms, looking utterly incredulous, pointing at me in utter heartbreak. Fang Yuan, how could you choose to help him over me? Why have you turned your back on me? You actually fell for this impoverished girl. You left me for someone else. I utterly despise him. I promise. I'll get you back for sure. She hid her face and dashed off. As expected, He got knocked over by a kick. The fruit scattered all over the place. I just stood there, frozen. Thunder rolled overhead. Who am I? Where am I? What am I even doing? I really didn't do anything at all. How did this plot just fix itself? Back on its original course. After a bit, Gu Qingkan went to retrieve the fruit basket, reassemble the scattered fruits. My parents approached slowly. They gave me a look of disapproval. Your fiancée is so high and mighty. She's arrogant, shallow, and shows no respect. She doesn't deserve you. Gu Qingkan pulled at his sleeve and said, Mom, that's enough. He turned back to me. There seemed to be something hidden in his sparkling eyes. So many unspoken feelings. His stare made me feel a bit uneasy. She finally spoke softly. Mr. Fang, why not rush to catch up with Miss Bai? It is just a misunderstanding. Just explain it to her. Clearly, I nodded, like a fool. I turned and ran after Ning Bing. I heard Mother Go's voice lowered from behind. She was questioning her daughter. Ahan, tell me the truth. Are you starting to like this guy? I tripped up. I almost fell into the gutter. It all got messed up. The militia rushed home to tell his parents. He wants to end our engagement because I've developed feelings for someone else. His parents came to our house to confront us. That is how my mom found out. Gu Qingkan, that seductress, what options does she have? As a devoted fan of Ning Bing, who has a wealthy future mother-in-law, she naturally brings a checkbook and confidently heads to negotiate with Gu Qingkan. I inquired about their meeting place and hurried over without delay. The story has now reached the point where my mom boldly throws checks, and then Gu Qingkan tears up the check and then accuses my mother of not treating the poor as human beings, a lack of respect for personal dignity. Both parties are going back and forth, spitting words at each other. I dashed into the private room and saw my mom sitting there all by herself. I looked around on the floor for ages, but couldn't find any bits of the check. My mom, sipping tea, said to me leisurely, Son, your taste is getting worse and worse. You actually gave up everything for such a superficial woman. Gu Qingkan actually took the check, giving up the role of the host. This isn't how the story goes. What exactly is wrong? I asked my mom how much you handed over. My mom nonchalantly waved her hand. It is just a minor goal. I hurriedly grabbed the door frame. I recall that the original amount was 5 million. Inflation has gotten really bad now. I struggled to tell my mom, Mom, we just made some investments at the company last month. We disbursed the salaries to the employees. Now, there is only a few tens of millions in our accounts. Are you really writing such a big check? How is the bank supposed to handle my mom's shock? Isn't it easy to achieve a small goal? We can't actually come up with it. I am sorry, Mom. I made us lose face in front of our boss. There is no time to explain it to him anymore. What if Gu Qingkan went to the bank? If the staff sees a check issued by someone without funds, they'll report it to the central bank right away. As stated in Article 31 of the Bill Management Implementation Measures, a fine of 5 from the ticket's face value. But that is 5 million. My heart is breaking. I spun around and bolted outside. My mom shouted at me from behind, Fang Yuan, if you even think about chasing that woman today, I'll cut off our mother-son relationship. I dashed out of the tea house like I was on fire. I caught sight of Gu Qingkan immediately. He stood there, relaxed, under the big tree. She is waiting for me to give back that troublesome check. You can see the sympathy in my eyes. If you have time, take Auntie to see a mental health specialist. Medical technology has advanced significantly now. You have plenty of money. Don't let benefits delay the treatment. I feel utterly ashamed. I forgot about the intelligence debuff. This isn't something unique to just the militia. Any villain, from his camp, it feels like everyone is under a curse. Their actions are so immature. It's almost heartbreaking. I just managed to handle my mom earlier today. Later that night, Ning Bing called me sneakily. Did Aunt Gu say yes to the surgery? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. You're really clueless. Aunt Gu mentioned she wouldn't accept money from others without a good reason. But if you become his son-in-law, you'll be part of the family. Then, you can freely pay for his treatment. I am constantly going down. Make sure to take this chance. Don't let my amazing performance go to waste today. So this whole act today was entirely his performance. What else can I say? What else can I possibly say? Why don't you all just team up and take me down? Now please refer to me as the Oscar-worthy master of acting. Every person has a different face, a different act. But destiny unfolds just like the storyline in the original work. Gu Qingkan and I are currently acting as a loving couple. Gu's mother has finally agreed to have the surgery. However, she has a request. She wants to see with her own eyes. Before she goes into the operating room, Gu Qingkan and I had a discussion about it. We are planning to have a simple Western-style wedding. The attendees will be quite simple. It will only be Gu Qingkan, me, and Gu's mother, plus a small band and an MC. I need to go to the bathroom. I caught sight of a sneaky figure. Ningbing has hired a makeup artist and rented a wedding dress. I'll take it to Gu Qingkan. I held her tightly in my arms. I rested my chin on top of her wavy hair. I planted kiss after kiss on her. My adorable and kind Guri, a whimsical militia. Let it be if my intelligence diminishes. I love her at exactly 9 o'clock. Under the watchful gaze of Gao's mother, who was overwhelmed with joy, Gu Qingkan and I exchanged rings. The wedding march is grand and solemn. The MC is lively and engaging. The extras we invited acted as if they were touched. Everything looked just right. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. Someone burst through the hotel door. I, who had been traumatized by the plot, shivered in fear. My parents, whom I hadn't seen in ages, walked in, as if the wind was beneath their feet. What are they here for? To stir up trouble. I rushed over to greet them in a hurry. Today is my wedding day. Can we discuss this later, when we get back? My dad burst out laughing. My mom is radiating happiness. Mother-in-law, we finally tracked you down. So you were the one who saved Ah Yuan's life. All those years ago, you called the police back then, and then vanished. We've been searching for you all these years. I never imagined that the universe would reward those who are persistent. I searched high and low, but couldn't find what I was looking for. I should have expressed this long overdue thank you much earlier. It seems that fate has brought us together as a family. Don't worry. We will make sure our daughter-in-law is treated well. If Xiao Yuan ever mistreats Xiao Han, we won't stand for it. The long-standing questions finally have answers. My long-held wishes have finally come true. My parents were laughing like a couple of kids. Neither did my parents see this coming. Even though my parents are arrogant rich people, they surprisingly have a conscience and know how to show gratitude. Both sides felt like they had discovered a new world, laughing and chatting happily. The photographer snapped a family picture of us. Everyone had a bright smile on their faces. I made an effort to loosen up my stiff body. I instinctively scanned the surroundings with my eyes. I noticed a figure by the railing on the second floor, hiding behind the barrier. The white cloth of the militia nearly engulfed his whole silhouette. Only a small face, seamlessly blending with the white cloth, was visible. I had never witnessed such profound loneliness on her face. Gu Qingkan was standing next to me. He kept his gaze fixed on his mother. She kept a smile on her lips. She whispered to me, General Feng, I want to hold off until my mother's surgery is a success. We don't need to end our marriage right away. I glanced back at her. Her entire face radiates with vibrant energy, brimming with the joy of a new beginning. She asked, Can you give me a chance to pursue you? No way. Is this turning from a joke into something real? This first marriage, then love, is nothing like I expected. I glanced up at the small face on the second floor, its brows drooping. The jade gourd hanging from my chest radiates warmth. I looked down and noticed that the jade gourd appeared to be melting, gradually shrinking. My heart races as if thousands of ants are gnawing at it, like a wooden beam about to fall in raging flames. My heart is frozen. In the end, I will move on and forget him. Will I end up on the same path as in the original story? He will become corrupted. He will meet a tragic end, and I will unconditionally love Gu Qingkan, moving towards a happy life. This could have turned out differently. I should be the one in control of my own life. This ridiculous farce needs to stop. But at that moment, the world came to a sudden halt. My mom was still wearing an excited smile. The parents were gesturing as if they were holding a phone receiver, and they reminisced about the brave moment when they called the police back then. However, the surroundings were completely silent. Only a mechanical voice could be heard. The male protagonist's next choice will impact the course of the timeline, and the interrupted timeline is reconnected. Please be cautious in making your choice. If you choose the female lead, all characters will follow the original storyline. You and the female lead will have a happy ending together. The female antagonist will face consequences. If you opt for the female antagonist, the female antagonist will have her reputation cleared. However, the original female lead will become corrupted. She will act as the unseen force blocking your relationship with the female antagonist. Ultimately, she will face the repercussions of her choices depending on who you select and who you forsake. In a hazy KTV VIP room, I'm dressed in a complete designer outfit, casually lounging. My long legs are lazily propped up on the coffee table. His deep profile is right in front of the slightly ajar door of the private room. His deep, melodious voice has a carefree lilt to it. Gu Qingkan is nothing but a plaything. Initially, I thought his enthusiasm was quite intriguing, so I decided to poke a little fun at him. Little did I know he was like a stubborn piece of taffy. Once you get stuck, there is no getting rid of it. Eventually, my mother came to my rescue. My parents pressured me to commit myself. Otherwise, they threatened to take away my inheritance rights. I guess I just have to put on a show for appearances. Just marry her and keep her as a revered figure. Now whenever I see his smug, fake high-minded look, it turns my stomach, and I don't even want to go near her. I'll just wait for him to understand his situation, and willingly walk away with nothing to get my freedom back. A wave of chilling coldness swept in from outside. After a while, it gradually faded away. I let out several sneezes. I shivered and asked someone to raise the air conditioning a bit. Gu Qingkan is my secretary by day. He works here at night. In the original plot, he's going to get bullied by the spoiled rich kids. Then I'll make a grand entrance to rescue him at his moment of crisis. Now that I've said those loathsome words, I have no idea how the story will unfold from here. I'm crouching by the wall. I'm sneaking behind him. The drunken spoiled rich kid is here. He pointed at Gu Qingkan, insisting he join him in the private room for drinks. Gu Qingkan clarified that his role was just to handle the cleaning, but the flunkies swarmed over. They shoved him right into the arms of the rich heir. It was utter chaos, and my heart was in my throat. Gu Qingkan fought back. But as a frail woman, she was outnumbered. In the end, she was still caught by the rich heir. With a loud tear, Gu Qingkan's shirt was shredded. To hell with this storyline. I stepped out. Suddenly, I heard a voice I recognized. Mei Hazy. What trouble are you causing? The door to a certain private room swung open. Ning Bing stepped out from inside. The rich kid is known as Mei Hazy. He is dark-skinned, skinny, short, and his family owns a coal mine. He was my and Ning Bing's classmate in elementary school. Back then, Ning Bing was the class monitor, always voted the best. He was adored by his classmates. He had an innate dominance over the underachievers. The moment Mei Hazy caught Ning Bing's voice, it feels like long-lost ancient memories have come back to life. Wearing a playful grin, a crooked shoulder, straightened up in an instant, lost in thought, I straightened my back and placed my hands on the table. Back to the first class of the new semester, I retracted my foot that I had stretched out. I huddled tightly in the corner, calm as a chicken. I watched the show. The militia member is quite petite, but the presence is off the charts. In high heels, I was poking and prodding. Give me Hazy, and his flunkies a good scolding. Mei Hazy had a silly grin on his face. He was just about to shamelessly lean in. It is pleasant to hear Ban Ban scolding. Ning Bing removed her coat. She tiptoed and threw it over Gu Qingkan. She comforted her in a tone used to coax a child. Don't worry, I'll take you home. Don't come back to work here anymore. Don't be so stubborn. Didn't you tie the knot with Fang Yuan? Why do you still have to work to pay back money for your family? Gu Qingkan just shook his head. He murmured something that I couldn't catch, but I knew what he was saying. He said he wanted to divorce Fang Yuan. I let out a huge sigh of relief. I gradually slid down the wall, until I finally sat down on the ground. It is finally coming to an end. The system says that for a romance story to work, someone has to go dark. Otherwise, the plot can't move forward. The female lead and the female rival both have to turn dark. My choice is CNM, LGB. I am the one going dark. Is that cool? I am going to go dark. All over. I am the ultimate dark character. The system agreed. Strong female leads have been trending lately. As long as you are dark enough, you are good. They can just live their lives without worries. I thought I'd have to go to the Golden Triangle to deal drugs to get darker. In Southeast Asia, it could be telecom fraud, or trafficking arms, and people on the dark web. I never thought I just had to be a jerk. Even though I grew up as a good kid under the red flag. But those ancient genes are buried deep within me. With a little digging, I can still manage to play the role of a good person. Casually dating, being ambiguous, and letting myself go. At first, it was indeed fun for a while, but soon, I felt a sense of emptiness inside. Sometimes, I wake up in the middle of the night, looking at the woman beside me, whose name I can't remember, suddenly feel like vomiting. Ming Bing quickly became disappointed in me. She cleared out everything from elementary school to studying abroad. All the photos of us together. Return everything I gave her. Her complexion is very strange. It is neither sadness nor pain, only deep confusion. I have no idea why you turned out this way, but I know you're not my brother, Fang Yuan. You're just his shell. I can't possibly love a shell. Goodbye, Fang Yuan. But Gu Qingkan seems to still carry the inertia of the original story. He has always been by my side. He wants to touch me with his selfless devotion. He comes home late at night. He still cooks dinner, for me, every day. She brings me the meals she has prepared herself. She stays in her empty room every night until dawn. Today, she has finally made the decision to leave me. The story of the strong female lead begins. This scumbag can finally stride boldly ahead. I can finally move towards the ending that is meant for me. My company soon went bankrupt because it was poorly managed. My parents are completely disappointed in me. I opened a new account and had another little sister. They are a very happy family of 3. In my desperate state of being broke, I painfully came to understand the ultimate essence of the feminine universe. My greatest mistake in life was failing the woman who loved me dearly. I was battling cancer, struggling to wait for death in my rental apartment. Gu Qingkan came to visit me. His calm gaze and distant posture revealed his feelings. It seemed like I was just looking at a stranger. I desperately reached out my hand, wanting to grasp his clothing once more, but he turned and left without looking back. I noticed someone waiting for him outside. It was Ning Bing. I was happily anticipating the end of the story, suddenly struck by a barrage of blows. A real sharp pain surged through my entire body. Ice forms and moves closer. The two shared a kiss in the sunlight, hugging as they walked away. My heart hurt as if it had swallowed a million needles. I tumbled off the bed, crawling on the floor. In a fit of agony, I managed to take my last breath and shut my eyes. Everything around me fell into darkness. The second ending of the whole story. I summoned Ning Bing and Gu Qingkan and shut the door behind us. We held a mysterious little meeting. I laid out everything I learned after awakening. The system had warned me that the consequences of this choice would be unpredictable. You want them to awaken, as well. I suggest you think twice about it. You are the essence of romance novels. You are like a walking ball of hormones. You are the epitome of masculine allure. You are the very essence of refined elegance. The thought the author put into creating you surpasses the combined efforts for all female characters. Once they come to life, you'll lose all your creator's glory. They'll see the real you. You are just a sad little rich kid boss. All you think about is money, money, money. With a sense of trepidation, I strive to keep my family's business running without losses. At that point, it won't be about who you get to choose. Instead, it will be about what choices they make in an awkward silence. I feel a rush of anxiety, my mouth opening wide in surprise. Gu Qingkan frowns deeply, his expression filled with suspicion. I sat up straight and pointed at myself. Let me know what you two saw. They stared at me, like I was an idiot. I fidgeted nervously in my seat. I felt like a complete idiot, completely exposed. Gu Qingkan's look at me became increasingly clear. Without the previous tenderness and admiration, I felt a surge of joy. The system was truthful with me. Gu Qingkan whispered softly, "It is strange. How come I like you? Yet, I like you so deeply. I stay up all night for you, my heart unwavering." Does the elder sister know how to talk? Even if I am just an ordinary person, just a rich guy who can shake the earth with a stomp, just a regular small business owner, but I don't engage in prostitution or gambling. I respect women, am honest, pay taxes, and treat my employees well. Still, a good socialist youth. Is it really that intolerable? Gu Qingkan awkwardly apologized. Sorry, Mr. Fang, I wasn't talking about you. I meant myself. I tend to be more rational. I don't like to lose my mind, just because I am in love. The old me was just downright abnormal. Gu Qingkan took the documents and left, striding confidently, moving lightly. It felt like shedding a heavy load. Sure enough, this cursed toxic romance. It tormented not just me, but him as well. Ning Bing hummed softly. I stood at the door, frozen in place. I couldn't bring myself to look back at her. I was scared of what I might find in his eyes. I see a gaze just like Gu Qingkan's that would tear me apart after all these years. I have loved her for so many years. I heard footsteps slowly coming up behind me. I can catch a whiff of its scent. I can hear the sound of her heartbeat. What would she say? Would it be goodbye? I feel sweat forming in my palms. I instinctively rubbed my hands on my pants. I feel a smooth sensation on my neck. Ning Bing pinned me with his fingers. His voice had a threatening tone. Fang Yuan, I must warn you, just forget all the songs I've written recently. Never bring them up again. You're never allowed to mention them. I turned to him with an innocent look. Have you ever written a song? He raised an eyebrow. His little face was on the verge of a smile. He puffed up his cheeks and finally let out a sigh. Whatever, go ahead and laugh if you want. The foolish things I've done recently, this isn't the only one. I tentatively reached my hand to her lower back. I gently wrapped my arms around her. I carefully and hopefully asked, Ning Bing, do you see any changes in me? He kept poking my cheeks. He muttered that I didn't have a beard back then. Now, I have some stubble. I used to have no dark circles. Now, I look like a panda. And why do I suddenly have a dimple here? I took her finger and gave it a kiss near my lips. But I am still the same person. Her little face lit up with a smile, blooming like a serene pond on a summer night. She stepped back and extended her hand towards me. Pleased to meet you. A little boss who works hard to contribute to society. I once knew a guy. He's scared of the dark and tends to cry easily. He's also named Fang Yuan.